Live from WLNS TV, this is 6 News at 6.
We have team coverage for you tonight for the first ice storm of the decade in mid-Michigan. It's our top story tonight. Our team has been out on the roads all day, bringing you the latest both on air and online. And as you can see, we're starting off tonight in the Weather Center with meteorologist Diane Phillips. Diane, what's the latest with this storm?
Well, we're not through it just yet. We are still seeing a little bit of mixed precipitation, some rain, and even some snow that's on the way. Taking a look outside, we're going to start the Skyview Network in Jackson, where they haven't seen much as far as that mixed precipitation. Just seeing wet roadways here. It looks like nobody's having any travel issues along Michigan Ave. Though in Grand Ledge, we've been seeing reports of some slippery conditions. You can see in that parking lot on the left side of your screen, some sleet and some slip and conditions there. And also coming through the downtown, you'll notice that some of the drivers are going to be taking a little slower on those roadways. So we still have that transition line that's coming through the Lansing area, rain in Jackson, and snow off towards our north. Future radar, though, is going to continue with that frozen precipitation and even a little bit of snow coming up on the way. So, of course, stay with us not only on air but through our apps. You can download the 6 News and the Storm Tracker 6 weather apps. But also, let's take a look outside. Our very own Jim Geyer is traveling. And Jim, where are you and what are you seeing right now?
Well, right now, Diane, I'm in DeWitt. In fact, we're heading down Old 27 at this time. This is where you got a lot of stores and also some places to eat. But notice on the pavement here, it is very sloppy right now. It hasn't been treated too much yet and doesn't look like a blade has been put down either. So there's quite a difference between Jackson, as you mentioned, and here to the north of Lansing. There's quite a difference. And it looks like it's going to get rather slick as we go through the nighttime hours. I'll keep an eye on this for you here in DeWitt. I'm Jim Geyer, 6 News.
And if you do plan on hitting the roads, make sure you are prepared by having an emergency kit in case anything happens. We're here for you with some things you'll want to include in your car emergency kit. Jumper cables are a must and a first aid kit. Keep it stocked with bandages, gauze, pain reliever, disinfectant wipes, and other supplies you might need. Extra hat, mittens, and warm clothes if you have to wait in your vehicle in the cold for any length of time. And make sure your phone is charged before you head out on the roads. And of course, have a phone charger just in case your phone dies. And for a full list of the things to keep in your emergency kit, you can visit our Scene on 6 section of WLNS.com. Today's slick roadways caused numerous accidents throughout the mid-Michigan area, and 6 News reporter Ashley Graham spent the day riding around mid-Michigan. Ashley, what's it looking like out there?
Well, Kiara, it's clearing up a little bit, but it's still coming down. But you can see behind me the roads are a little bit clearer now. Not too many people are on the roads right now. And the crews have been out salting the roads for much of the day starting this morning. But once the rain turned into sleet this morning, we started hearing reports of slide-offs all through the afternoon. And what you're seeing now is just video of just one of those accidents. It happened in Meridian Township near the intersection of Holt Road and Meridian Road. And it took roughly an hour for crews to get this car out of the field. And Lansing police say they've responded to at least 12 accidents in the area today. And there were far fewer cars on the road today. A lot of people were warned to kind of stay home if they could. But the ones that were out here, there were a lot of slide-offs. Those are the primary accidents that we've seen today. And crews at this point not only are salting the roads, but also scraping them, trying to get that sleet off the road as much as possible and keep things clear. But as we head into the night and as we get more precipitation, more sleet, more snow, things are either going to stay as they are or possibly get worse. So if you have to be out on the roads tonight, please just be careful. Give yourself lots of time and lots of space. Here for you live in Lansing, Ashley Graham, 6 News. Back to you.
All right, good. Thanks to know, Ashley. Thank you. And tonight, officials are urging people to avoid unnecessary travel, like she just said. And if you absolutely have to be out on the roads tonight, we're here for you with some safety tips. Drivers should take extra time on their commutes and avoid rushing and speeding. Officials also encourage drivers to increase the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. And drivers should also start braking earlier than you usually would. And for a full list of driving safety tips, you can visit our Scene on 6 section of our website at WLNS.com. All right, well, Ashley and Jim aren't the only ones keeping an eye on the road conditions for you. Dana White took to the streets in Lansing this afternoon, and here's a quick look at her Facebook Live from earlier today.
I am here with photojournalist Dan, and we are just out and about and tracking the weather and the roads and power outages, and it's really just a day of kind of waiting to see what's happening and working to keep people safe. We're really just working to be here for you and making sure that you guys are safe today. So if you can't stay indoors, please do. We don't want anybody getting hurt.
And if you find yourself out on the roads tonight, we're getting a lot of reports of flooding on the roadways. Take a look at this. The city of Mason is currently dealing with water overflow at the wastewater treatment plant. According to officials, they're pumping water directly into Sycamore Creek in an effort to avoid private property damage. If you see flooding areas affecting local roads, you're asked to call police and let them know. And of course, do not try and drive through it. Well, we're also tracking power outages around mid-Michigan, and Kaylee Martette is following local outages, and she's here for you now with our continuing coverage in studio. Kaylee, how's it looking?
Kira, currently there are approximately more than 8,000 outages across the state. We've been keeping in touch with Consumers Energy officials who expected a large amount of outages yesterday and told us today that things are turning out better than they feared for now. These are the current outages that you're looking at across the state according to poweroutage.us. I just took this right before the show. Most of the outages are in mid-Michigan, are in Montgomery County and Ionia County. Earlier today, 2,000 people were without power in Lansing due to a car accident that knocked down a pole and power lines. Since then, power has been restored, and officials with Consumers Energy say as the day continues, it's important to stay cautious.
If you see a down power line, always assume that it's energized and a hazard. So there are a lot of other safety-related things to consider when it comes to a storm. A lot of people use generators in their homes. Make sure you use those generators outside and in areas that are not enclosed, so you can let it vent out properly. We want people to be keeping safety in mind and know that we're going to do the same as we get out there to restore power.
We also have some advice for you if your power goes out on our website, WLNS.com. We will continue to follow these outages around the state as the storm continues and update you on our Facebook page at WLNS TV. Kira, back to you.
All right, thanks, Kaylee. And if you did lose power, we caught up with the Lansing Fire Department to talk about what you need to know to stay safe at your home while using a generator. Use your generator for your critical appliances. That includes your refrigerator and for basic lighting. And make sure your generator is stored outside at least 10 feet away from your house with good airflow. When your generator runs out of fuel, make sure it has time to cool down before you refill it, and use a good high-quality heavy gauge extension cord. And the assistant fire chief advises the generator be wired by a professional.
Don't be bypassing and doing weird and unusual electrical wiring in your house off of a generator. It's not safe for the generator. It's not safe for your house. All in all, we're going to weather this event just fine as a community. The fire department's going to make it through it. We're going to be here if anyone needs us.
And if you do lose power, make sure you have emergency water if you run on a well and battery-powered lighting. And check to see if your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors are working properly. Stay with 6 News for our continuing coverage of this ice storm. Our team will continue to bring you the latest as the storm moves across mid-Michigan.
This is Weather First from Storm Tracker 6, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance for whatever lies ahead.
We have had a mixed bag of precipitation from rain to snow to a little bit of sleet, ice pellets, and even freezing rain. But considering what this storm could have brought, it's not as bad as what many would have hoped, just like we said earlier with the folks that we talked with through local power companies. But before we get into the weather forecast, I want to take another live look at local roads because meteorologist Jim Geyer, he's driving right now. So Jim, what are you taking a look at?
Well, right now we've left DeWitt and we're on US 127 going right past Eastwood Town Center here at Lake Lansing Road. And we've got a pretty good road here on southbound 127, especially in the right lane. That left lane's got a little bit of the blowing snow and or sleet on the far side of that lane. And so again, there are going to be some slick spots on the area roads, and with temperatures not climbing anymore and we're at or below freezing, yeah, there will likely be some slick spots on some untreated roads. And also, again, I hope you have the blue juice to spray on your windshield, because, yeah, you're going to get sprayed a lot as you go through, because the salt has been put down now on the expressways and some of the major surface streets. So, again, we're going to keep an eye on that for you. We've not had a lot of heavy.
We apologize for the technical difficulties, but still thank you to Jim for driving out there. And if you are going to be headed out tonight, make sure you take it easy on local roadways. But we saw a pretty early transition as far as that wintry mix, and that came through Montcalm and even into Ionia County. So that's where we're seeing basically a lot of the outages. We are seeing a few scattered outages, of course, in other locations, but you'll see that our larger outages are in those two counties. And though they aren't extremely large outages, not too many consumers are actually out of power currently. So that's still good news, but we still have more storm that we have to weather. You'll see that we will have that wintry mix still headed our way for this evening, as we still have yet, even at 10:30, that pink coloring over a large portion of mid-Michigan. Still anticipating, though, a little bit more frozen precipitation could dive a little further towards the southeast, but the rain should hold on. Yet many of us are going to be dealing with snow as we head into later tonight. After midnight, we'll start to see the snowflakes move into the area, and this is at 2 a.m. when all of us are going to be seeing some pretty heavy pockets. The further north you go, that's the higher chances of snow that you'll be seeing. Of course, further south, you'll hold on to a little bit of that frozen or even liquid precipitation, to where your snow accumulations will be on the lighter side. As we head into Sunday morning, though, even by 7 a.m., now that system is fully out. We may have a little bit of lake effect flurries coming in, but we could even see a little bit of sun. I'd still plan on mostly cloudy skies for your Sunday, and temperatures not going to be warm enough to see much as far as melting for us as we head throughout the day, but we will see some snow showers developing towards our west and moving in. They should stay out of mid-Michigan, but don't be surprised if you see a snowflake in the air by Monday morning. As far as our ice accumulations for yet tonight, we're still anticipating probably around 1/10 of an inch still possible on accumulations. That's also including sleet, ice pellets, and any freezing rain. You can see that it might even really start to set up in parts of Ingham County, and even in Jackson, you could be picking up 1/10 of an inch of icing as well. As far as the snow totals, of course, the further north you go, the higher those will be. About 1 to 3 in Alma, and even into Clinton County around the Lansing area, we're looking at about 1 to 2 inches, and about 1 inch or less is what we're anticipating in Jackson. And a lot of these snow totals are going to be determined on how much freezing rain or ice pellets, even sleet, that we see for the rest of this evening. But you'll see right now, a current look, we have all 3 types of precipitation moving in, but we're really keeping an eye on the system coming through Missouri, because that is going to be bringing in some heavy snow through Illinois and then moving into mid-Michigan later tonight. So that's where we're going to be seeing the last of the system. But right now, temperatures are hovering around the freezing point. Some cities in the southeast corner where they're seeing rain holding on to the mid-30s. And for tonight, we will be seeing that freezing rain to sleet, yet to snow, as temperatures are going to be dropping into the upper teens. Tomorrow, we'll have conditions up to around 26, not above freezing, so we won't have any melting, as we'll have the morning snow showers, then the cloudy skies. For the next 6 days, temperatures do warm up on Monday and Tuesday, though we'll have a chance for some rain and snow on Wednesday, and then temperatures cool enough to see some snow towards the end of the week, and then we'll have bitter cold air moving in, well, 20s that is, for the 6+6 day forecast, and that's going to be cold enough to where we see some snow showers. On Traffic Tracker, the road weather index, roadways are icy and slippery in many locations, and you'll notice that we do have on our salt truck tracker that MDOT is out there, so the trucks are salting and they're plowing, and we will hopefully have roadways okay for anybody who's traveling tonight.
Yeah, hopefully no more slide-offs, as Ashley saw earlier today. It was a good few.
It's been a busy day for sure.
All right, we'll still come on 6 News at 6. We head to the Lansing Center, where industry leaders discuss the future of hemp here in Michigan. And Jim Geyer is out on the roads headed towards East Lansing. Here's a look of him right now.
This is the LaFontaine Automotive Group's 6 Sports Desk.
Good evening, everyone. That cold and slushy weather outside got us bundled into a warm arena where you can watch more athletes slide around on even more ice. Yeah, we're talking about Michigan State hockey team. They're in a 3-game series against the Minnesota Gophers. Game 1 was last night. Our Alex Sims was at Munn Ice Arena covering Game 2. Alex, tonight's game has some big implications, and one for the team and also for senior Patrick Kodorinko.
Yeah, Nick, of course, a Spartan win tonight is the first thing on their mind. In fact, a win would keep them in the running with Penn State in first place in the Big Ten. But there's something even bigger that this team is focusing on, and that is to help Patrick Kodorinko score one more goal. That would actually be his 50th of his career to help tie former Spartan Tim Crowder. And speaking of Kodorinko, he told us how much momentum this team has going into tonight's game.
You know, we should gain some confidence out of this game, and hopefully get a sweep and you know, ride that momentum into our other Big Ten series. It'll put us in a great place, and you know, we'll have a good amount of points, and hopefully we can ride that momentum and, you know, keep playing the way we're playing.
And can the Spartans get the sweep tonight here at Munn Ice Arena? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. We are just under 45 minutes until puck drop. Nick.
Thank you, Alex. We'll have the highlights of that game tonight on 6 News at 11. The Michigan State basketball team is on the road again. This trip, they have a tough Big Ten test against the Purdue Boilermakers. Now, the team left this afternoon, and so did our sports director, Audrey Dahlgren, who's ready for the Spartan road trip.
Hi, Nick. We are ready to head down to West Lafayette. Of course, I will be putting my seatbelt on. Michigan State's basketball team has a date with Purdue tomorrow at high noon, which is on our air. And while we are at this game, we're going to be keeping our eyes on Cassius Winston because he is 9 assists away from surpassing Mateen Cleaves for the all-time assist record at Michigan State. Also, we'll see if the Spartans can keep up their winning ways on the road to remain unbeaten in the Big Ten. So once we get down to Purdue, we will have much more tonight from Mackey Arena.
Well, Audrey, we're all looking forward to it. And as Audrey mentioned, the environment at Mackey Arena will be a big test for the Spartans and how they can handle playing out in someone else's house. Coach Tom Izzo and Xavier Tillman had this to say about traveling to Purdue and a smart tactic that'll help them prepare for the crowd.
Defense travels, you know, but you know, so we played Northwestern, and now we did have a big road win against Seton Hall in a hostile environment. I mean, at least our guys know what it's like, but it's not going to be anything like it's going to be down at Mackey.
We used to do this thing in practice where we'd have a speaker and we would just play fan noise and we'd blast it on max and we couldn't even hear each other. It was like our segment in practice where we try to yell over it and try to communicate the best way we could. So maybe we'll try to do something like that.
Some interesting ways to practice. We should also update you that former Spartan Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings are down 17-10 in the third quarter against the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. Kira, we're going to have a ton of highlights and also hear from Audrey in West Lafayette tonight at 6 News at 11.
All right, thanks, Nick. Well, stay with us. Jim is out on the roads right now. He's currently on 496, and we'll tell you what's going on out there when we return.
Let's take another check of radar before we let you go tonight. You can see that we have some snow, some mix of the two, and then some rain that's off towards our south. That wintry mix is setting up around the Lansing area, but it is falling apart and there is more that's on the way. But let's also give you a final look at the roads. Jim's now traveling eastbound 496, so take a look at what Jim has to show us.
And Diana made a little turn around Waverly now going north. We want to see what some of the roads are here in the Lansing area. And you can see they have salted this too, and you have to give it some time to work. But otherwise, they've been doing a good job and seeing several trucks out there right now. Here for you in Lansing, I'm Jim Geyer, 6 News.
Again, if you don't have to go out on those roads tonight, you can tell right there, it didn't look too hot out there. And we'll keep you updated on WLNS.com about this ice storm. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here at 11.